OneAcademy is the heart of our company. Cryptocurrency is not an easy product. It's a very innovative product based on technology and based on very, very complex concepts. For us to be part of this financial revolution, to be part of cryptocurrency and of a community, we need to understand exactly what we do and what we talk about. And this is why we have the OneAcademy. The OneAcademy provides you with concepts, provides you with explanation on cryptocurrency and on the financial world. I would encourage everybody to join the courses, to do the certificates, and to understand thoroughly how to use cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is, and how we can change the world by using cryptocurrency. OneAcademy. Learn today, lead tomorrow. The OneAcademy is the heart of our company. Cryptocurrency is not an easy product. It's a very innovative product based on technology and based on very, very complex concepts. For us to be part of this financial revolution, to be part of cryptocurrency and of a community, we need to understand exactly what we do and what we talk about. And this is why we have the OneAcademy. The OneAcademy provides you with concepts, provides you with explanation on cryptocurrency and on the financial world. I would encourage everybody to join the courses, to do the certificates, and to understand thoroughly how to use cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is, and how we can change the world by using cryptocurrency. OneAcademy. Learn today, lead tomorrow.
Blessed good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning to wherever you are in our beautiful world. It's indeed a wonderful day, and we're here once again with our Learn at Lunch Zoom calls. We're talking about OneAcademy. So we're just going to give you the reasons why we're here. My name is Noel Emmanuel Jack, and I'm your co-host today with Sherry Ann Patterson on our Zoom call this morning from Trinidad and Tobago, our beautiful Twin Island Republic, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world. We certainly appreciate you being on the call with us today. And just a little reminder as to why we are here. Our founder, Dr. Ruja Egnatova, said that we learn today to lead tomorrow. What is OneAcademy? OneAcademy is in broad areas such as financial analysis, asset management, forex, the stock exchange, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and much, much more. Our mission is to provide our students with the guidance and educational materials needed to achieve financial literacy. OneAcademy was developed by financial experts and academics. It is highly structured and easy to understand. You learn at your own pace and can be part of the future of global financial reset. Our intention is to give you a unique sense of understanding and facts which you can use to enhance your knowledge and daily lives, as well as promote our core product, OneAcademy, and the benefits of our ecosystem. I encourage you to take copious notes to assist you in your quest to become certified, knowledgeable, and wise business leaders and money managers. Today we're going to continue our discussion on deflation, and our host is none other than Mr. Kestel Beal. And of course, he's very, very experienced, an engineer in the field of direct current, and he has been one of the early pioneers on our Zoom calls or OneAcademy Lunch and Learn very congenial guy, you know, who has a lot of wealth and experience, a lot of wisdom, and it is our pleasure this afternoon to introduce you to our presenter for the day, Mr. Kester Beale. And of course, we'll also have a panel discussion, you know, discussing the whole matter surrounding deflation. We also have on our call today the merchant of the day, Simply Gent, and we welcome them on board as well. And you're going to hear from them a little later on. So, Mr. Kester Beale, the call is now over to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Noah.
What?
We are pulling up a video here.
You could buy Apple 80% off. How much money are you going to make on that long term?
This is going to be the first time that we have an economic event of this scale that is global.
Well, I'm going to take some part of my portfolio and I'm going to bet on stocks going down.
The last time that gold took a dip under 1,000, you couldn't get any physical, and if you did, you were paying more for it than if you had bought it when it was 1,100.
You can do stuff now to be ahead of this and be positioned right when this happens, because this is inevitable. You cannot keep a bubble going forever, and you cannot prevent deflation forever. You can't stave it off forever. When it happens, like you said earlier, a small percentage of people are going to make a fortune and do very well, and most people are just going to not know what hit them.
Okay, if you could buy Apple for 80% off, a lot of companies have bit the proverbial dust or are on the border of doing such. So let's get back quickly into our presentation. If you are around Monday, and I hope you will, you would have had the pleasure of starting off with us in inflation, hidden tax. But before I jump forward, the information contained herein and dispensed is not designed to be a source of financial information, nor should it be construed as such. One Life is not an investment company. The images in this presentation are the property of their respective owners. So on Monday, we get a little run as to what is the deflation, the financial sector rhetoric, because they always say that inflation is bad. So the key takeaway for the video that was showed on Monday, provided interest rates are fixed, inflation benefits borrowers. All right? Deflation benefits lenders. I'll get more into that. Right? So let's go further. Inflation and deflation, a hidden tax.
We often hear in the mainstream media that inflation is desirable, that it's positive for the economy. Central banks are not happy when inflation doesn't reach the desired level. But is it true that constantly rising prices as a result of monetary inflation is good for us? First, let's explain the phenomenon itself. To put it as simply as possible, if the only goods in the world were 4 pencils and the total money supply was $4, each of the pencils would cost $1. If the central bank would then create another $4 and the amount of pencils does not increase, how much would a pencil cost now? Exactly, $2. Monetary inflation is an increase in the quantity of money. Monetary inflation is not the same as rising prices, but the two are related. The popular definition of inflation as an increase in the general price level is not complete and doesn't tell us the main cause of rising prices. We see the general rise in prices when the money supply increases faster than the demand for money. Price inflation, then, is often a consequence of monetary inflation. We can also have monetary inflation without increasing prices. This can happen if the number of dollars and the number of pencils increase by the same amount at the same time. We can also have rising prices without inflation if the amount of money remains unchanged and a natural disaster or a war destroys 2 pencils. Most often, however, monetary inflation is accompanied by an increase in prices, although the process is not immediate. So why is monetary inflation and, in effect, price inflation bad for us? First of all, because it diminishes the purchasing power of our savings and salaries. Inflation is a hidden tax. It is hidden because you see the same amount of money in your account. But with a 10% increase in the price level, you will be able to buy 10% less stuff. Debtors, however, benefit from inflation. The value of their debt falls as much as the value of savings. Most governments in the world are heavily indebted, so inflation is convenient for them. At the time of borrowing, the money is worth more or buys more than at the time of repayment. Inflation, therefore, discourages savings and promotes consumption because it is better to buy today if tomorrow everything will be more expensive. Another effect of inflation is an increase in wealth inequality. Newly created money is not distributed equally through the economy. Those who get the money first have the advantage because they can buy before the price inflation. People who get the money last are in the worst situation because they are most affected by its falling purchasing power. Monetary inflation is the opposite phenomenon. It's a reduction of the money supply. Using the pencil example, if a bank takes out $2, each pencil would cost 50 cents. Monetary deflation results in falling prices. It rewards people with savings because the purchasing power of those savings grows over time. It is a problem for debtors, however, because they have to give back money that is worth more than the money they borrowed. It also causes a decrease in liquidity, which results in more cautious investment decisions. Deflation is therefore advantageous for people that manage their money and also occur without monetary deflation. For example, if the money supply remains the same and the number of pencils increases because of
Kester?
Oh, yes, I just got knocked off and back on. I'm coming back on immediately.
Okay.
Trying to share screen again.
the manufacturers of computers, cell phones, and cars, because they have to give back money that is worth more than the money they borrowed. It also causes a decrease in liquidity, which results in more cautious investment decisions. Deflation is therefore advantageous for people that manage their money in a conservative way. Price deflation may also occur without monetary deflation. For example, if the money supply remains the same and the number of pencils increases because of an increase in productivity, is such a decline in prices a bad thing for anybody? After all, we want everything to be cheaper. Perhaps this phenomenon is good for consumers, but not for producers and cars. When production was less effective, only rich elite could afford such inventions. Thanks to an increase in productivity, due to the introduction of new technologies, manufacturers were able to produce these things faster, cheaper, and in greater quantities. Now many more can afford a computer, a phone, or a car. Not only are these things more accessible, but they also are much higher quality than at the beginning. Can we say that the manufacturers of cars, computers, and cell phones are poorer because of that? Of course not. So maybe a continuous decline in prices is bad for the economy. Will people indefinitely put off the decision to buy something because in the future it will be cheaper? Will the demand for everything completely disappear? Think about it. We know that every year computers can be bought cheaper or at least much higher quality for the same price. Does this mean that we will not buy a computer if we need one? Of course we will buy one, because we need it now, and not a year from now. Will we indefinitely put off the decision to buy food, knowing that next year it will be cheaper? For obvious reasons, no. For the economy and the people, the best solution is a stable amount of money, the amount that cannot be increased or decreased in a sudden manner by the whims of central bankers. The money available on the market should be controlled naturally by how much we spend and how much we save, and thus how much money is actually available to finance investments. Market mechanisms will then force commercial banks to determine the appropriate market interest rates. Also, decreases in the price level due to an increase in productivity should be a natural and welcome consequence of economic growth. We would have steady deflation if the central banks wouldn't increase the money supply. Visit us on econclips.com where you can find other films. If you don't want to miss the next video, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. You can find the link.
Okay, there we have it. And before I go any further, I would like us to take a look at this document. Or at least this page in this document. This document, I'm on page 3, is a study did by Michael DeBordo, John Landon Lane, and Angela Reddish on good versus bad deflation. Lessons from the gold standard era.
Excuse Gus, do you have it up? We're not seeing it.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, yes. Is it being seen now?
Yes.
All right, so this paper was done a few years ago and is deposited. It was actually sent in November 2003. Good versus bad deflation. Page 3. Deflation has had a bad rap, possibly as a consequence of the combination of deflation and depression in the 1930s. Deflation is associated with, for some, or connotes depression. In contrast, a basic tenet of monetary theory, the Friedman rule, suggests that deflation, albeit perfectly anticipated, is an outcome of optimal monetary policy. So when monetary policy is being managed expertly, deflation is the natural outcome. So with that, I'd like to invite Mr. Ivan Mark. Ivan, what do you think about that?
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone. This is a very, very crucial topic, critical topic for one to understand exactly how money works, how finances works, and of course, how the government and institution benefits from such things as deflation and inflation. In many terms and circumstances, a lot of financial people, financial gurus say that deflation is a lot worse than inflation. That deflation actually more or less gives the economy a reset. If you listen to Mike Maloney and also his partner, Mr. Dent, what they basically, well, you could understand that what deflation does is really give you what the true value of things are. And if that is the case, then the problem is making a profit. And that is where it usually hinges. So when you look at how economy is supposed to work, literally, there isn't supposed to be that element of inflation. If you look at monetary systems in its purest form, things are supposed to go down over the period of time. And we said that on Monday. Like when a new technology comes out and you are the first or second to purchase it, you usually pay premium dollars. As time goes on and production costs really equates and goes down, of course you pay, those who buying pays less. The thing about it, what the video before highlighted is that those who are first to the money usually makes the most than those coming behind, because you have the value, the time value of money factor. So this is an important topic. The video with Mike Maloney was, Mr. Dent was asking that if you were to get Apple stock at 80% less, would you, how many of those stocks would you purchase? And this is what usually happens in the cycle of the economies. We are reaching that cycle now where it looks like we will enter a deflationary period. And what that means that again, there are going to be numerous opportunities for those people who understand what is taking place. Warren Buffett has $134 billion standing by to take advantage of this deflation. A week ago, I had highlighted Daniela, I forget her last name, but Daniela she used to actually work in the Federal Reserve. And she was in an interview, and the person was saying that when he looked back over a 100-year period, the current financial system over that 100 years goes actually bankrupt 3 times over that 90-year period. 3 times. It does well in 25-year period, the stock market and so forth. If you were to leave your money for that period, you would make, if you were to leave the stock. However, beyond that, when it enters this cycle, as he says, as like a snake devouring its tail, it goes totally bankrupt because it starts to feed on itself. And anytime you enter in that deflationary period, that is exactly what is taking place. So we are in that period right now. And these presentations are really to get you in tune and to really wake you up, to show you, listen, if you don't know about it before, if you didn't know about it before, you know about it now. And there are certain things that we could do to really capitalize on it. All right, so this is an important topic that people must understand. All right, Kes?
Correct. I am seeing Mr. Wayne Wilson on the call. Wayne, would you like to chime in for a minute? All right, we're probably having a little problem between, but I always like to hear the Rose Muriel Izama. What do you think about deflation? We exist with the deal shaker, and we are experiencing deflation, and there is no hardship for coins. And here it is saying that deflation is optimal monetary policy.
You know, go ahead, sorry.
No, I just said, do you have anything to say on it? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you know, you gentlemen have been very eloquently dealing with it, but I think that's the benefit of our money, our currency, our crypto, because of its increasing in value. And therefore, whereas with the economy and how that ecosystem operates to our disadvantage when you have fiat, the use of our currency encourages additional value, and therefore we are not on the negative end of what the rest of persons would experience in this deflationary circumstance. So that you know, that's just the add-on and the benefit for us in terms of our position. We have our community, we have the use of our coins and that value add. Yes, we still have to interact with the rest of the world and how they operate, but we have a window in which we can actually benefit from what is perceived to be a negative.
And I know, Mary, as you mentioned our ecosystem and our coin, how do you see this panning out over the long haul? Because we operate in a totally different community, a different economy. And what happened with us is that we realize increase and at the same time decrease in the prices of certain items, goods and services, increase in our money, right? But can, as a macro sense, can the greater world also operate like that, or will it more or less tolerate something like that? What do you think?
Well, you know, let me come back to that whole issue again, because think of Trinidad and our TT dollars. Our TT dollars can only function here when we overlay the fact that it's pegged the US as the world monetary lead. We as a country, our community is more disadvantaged than we in our ecosystem, because we could, although we have a community, our community is wide. Our community consists of 195 countries. So therefore, the benefit from a macro level within the context of us is expanded, not only for here, but internationally. So that is how I see us, for want of a better word, maneuvering it.
All right, great. So you're saying that regardless of what the benefits are there, and once people get value, that it is something that they would appreciate. That's basically what you say.
And yeah, and because the whole mantra is really about value. I mean, it's always said, you know, what is money? It is what you and I agree it is. And therefore the value add there really is in the context of our benefit and what we have to make, and what we have is the value that our coin, that our cryptocurrency can give and can be the same. So the value of our cryptocurrency is the same whether we spend it in Trinidad, in Italy, in Suriname, in England, in Bulgaria, in wherever. It's the same value, and we'll get the same, whatever we purchase will be the same value to us, and we spend the same. In Trinidad, if we use in our currency, you have an issue with respect to that, you know? Yes, I don't know if you follow me and Ivan.
Yes.
I definitely follow you.
Yeah, very valid. Very valid point. I would like to get...
Well, quickly, my thought on it is all the evidence, all the empirical evidence, even in this paper, was under a system, I keep insisting, that employs quantitative easing and fractional reserve banking. So deflation in that scenario, as was seen in the video, will not benefit the government. So it is something that only will work in a proper, well-managed system as seen here, and that's the deal shaker. Ivan.
So let me ask the question. During the course of this present-day financial system, there were circumstances where the American economy, of course, the Federal Reserve, was pegged to gold. They unpegged, they repegged again, and so on, right? Especially during the time of this Great Depression. If we were operating on that gold standard, do you think that the inflationary factor will more or less play a more important role than inflationary? Operating with the gold standard. What do you think? What's the hypothesis on it?
Operating with the gold standard, it was shown in the video. If you have a fixed amount of currency, as example pegged to gold, the natural movement will be deflation because you will be adding your labor, your personal value to that storehouse of gold. So your currency would tend to increase.
All right.
And that's what that's what we're experiencing with our currency, because it's limited, it's virtual gold, it increases in value, and therefore that's what we're experiencing. Correct, fellow gentlemen?
Yes.
To an extent, yes, definitely.
Yes, it's definitely it mimics that situation. I see we have Alvin Morton and Jason B. Kes, you want to invite any one of these distinguished gentlemen to speak?
I think we must.
It is imperative.
I think we must.
So, Mr. Bramble, what do you think about this topic of deflation, especially from your standpoint?
Well,
hello.
Well,
Yes,
we hear you, Jason.
Yes, inflation. Can you repeat your question? Is deflation or inflation we're speaking about?
Deflation. So, from your thoughts on the forex market, can you kind of anticipate what might happen in a deflationary ecosystem? Is it possible?
In the forex market, there's a good topic to speaking on, because most people have, a lot of fears with crashes in the world today, especially with the pandemic, also with COVID-19. And one thing I love about OneAcademy is that we have a product that is called OneForex. The OneForex now, it's a unique product. Reason being, it is what you could learn without depending on anyone, and is also recession proof. And I mean, in the forex world, the only thing that could happen if you're at forex trader, we look at deflation, the system crashes, you look at the market crash, people have fear for those things. Forex is not the stock market. Forex is a different market altogether. It's the largest market in the world. And for the forex market to crash, you need at least every individual worldwide, every business, every bank, every individual to stop any type of trade and commerce, demand and supply. That means that worldwide, no one is spending any money at all, and the market will come to a stall. You just have not much movement in the market. And that's something we need to take in consideration. And it's a skill that you can learn, and it's a skill that you depend on anyone. And it's also a skill you don't have to worry about deflations and any system crashes in the market.
Great,
But
Go ahead,
even with the forex market, if you are in the inflation cycle or deflation cycle, you can make money on either end, right?
Yes, either end.
Yes.
On both sides. In the forex, in the market, in inflation, people love to buy stock at a low point, and like oil, for example, most people say that they tend to buy oil, but in the end of the day, when the system deflates and we have a system crash or the market start to devalue, then we have a lot of merchant howling and looking to find a way to actually hedge their losses into another commodity like gold, for example, right now. But in the forex market, no matter which way the market is going up, it's going down in a system crash, you're going to have a recession. It doesn't matter, you're making money on both sides of the market. So that is very powerful.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent as Alvin chime in because you recognize that the value of our ecosystem based on what Jason has said, Kes, in respect of that, and the fact that of our cryptocurrency, once we properly position ourselves, we should not be experiencing the gloom and gloom that the rest of the world can experience. Alvin.
A pleasant good afternoon and good morning or good evening, depending on those of us who are on the call. Apologies for my late entrance. Duty calls at another location, so I had to respond to that. All right, so I'm going to take the opportunity to quote from Investopedia.com, specifically understanding deflation. According to Investopedia.com, deflation causes the nominal costs of capital, labor, goods, and services to fall, though their relative prices, and that might be nominal prices, may be unchanged. Deflation has been a popular concern among economists for decades. On its face, let me repeat that, on its face, deflation benefits consumers. Why? Because they can purchase more goods and services with the same nominal income over time. This to me describes to a T the one life ecosystem. In that paragraph that comes, and this is not my words, this is Investopedia.com. This describes the one life ecosystem. An appreciating currency, an appreciating unit of value, an appreciating store of wealth that allows more goods and services to be purchased with the same nominal unit of currency, nominal income, whatever, over time. Investopedia.com goes on to say, however, not everyone wins from lower prices, and economists are often concerned about the consequences of falling prices on various sectors of the economy, especially in, guess where? Financial matters. Deflation can harm borrowers who can be bound to pay their debts in money that is worth more than the money they borrowed, as well as any financial market participants who invest or speculate on the prospect of rising prices. By definition, monetary deflation can only be caused by a decrease in the supply of money or financial instruments redeemable in money. In modern times, the money supply is most influenced by central banks, such as the Federal Reserve. When the supply of money and credit falls without a corresponding decrease in economic output, then the prices of all goods tend to fall. Periods of deflation most commonly occur after long periods of artificial monetary expansion. Periods of deflation most commonly occur when? After long periods of artificial monetary expansion. The early 1930s was the last time significant deflation was experienced in the United States. So if I'm to understand the conversation that preceded from Jason, from Kes, from Muriel, together with what I've just read from Investopedia.com, it appears that we are heading for a deflation. And it is the type that the economists fear the most. So that there is this rush now to do what? Print more money. So we're going to see extensive, explosive QE programs in place. The real solution is, and perhaps I'm biased, forgive me, the solution is the One Life ecosystem. No need for printing
You need no
excessive.
forgiving.
No need for printing excessive money.
It's a given.
What you do is get people to get packages so that they have an appreciating unit of currency, unit of wealth, unit of value. They can buy goods and services, more goods and services with the same unit. So we have the reverse of a situation where $100 today buys less than it bought yesterday, buys less than it bought last month, it buys less than it bought last year and the last 5 years. And we can get away from these ballooning deficits and so on. As I said before, the big challenge against this is that it will now cause discomfort, significantly so, for those who benefit from the status quo, those who benefit from currency printed ad infinitum, or who may have shares in the use of ones and zeros on an electronic ledger. And we say, voila, here's $1.5 trillion. Over to you, Ivan or Kes.
So Alvin, what you're basically saying, at this point in time, you can't get gold, you could get a little gram and so forth. But to say you could get an ounce or a billion, a kg or something like that, it is very difficult, gold, silver, and the likes. But what you were saying, that right now you could get our cryptocurrency and still come out smelling like a rose, right? That's basically what you say.
Absolutely, yes. You can
Yep.
your unit of your one, and through networking, through the second economy, as Michel Mark likes to say, you can begin to access goods and services where? Through the deal shaker. I am waiting and patiently waiting for the merchant or group of merchants who will take ones in significant quantity, if not 100%, to tell me, listen, Mr. Morton, we can rebuild your house for you, that you don't have to go to the bank. We can allow you a place to rent and stay while we do the repairs. That is what I'm waiting on. And the elements for that are already there. Not all of the people yet are at that stage, but the elements are already there. How did I get to that stage? I got to that stage by doing what? By purchasing packages, by working with others to buy into after going through the education process, to buy into other packages. I was rewarded through the mining process, and now as the currency appreciates in value, I will be at the stage in the not too distant future to realize that dream that I'm holding on the screen of my mind. We have to remember, all of this that we're benefiting from was merely a thought on the screen of Dr. Ruja Ignatova's mind 3, 5, maybe 7 years ago.
And that's so. Sorry.
She has brought into existence a system that answers a lot of the questions I've just read from Investopedia.com. The gentleman who contributed this article, Mr. Jim Chapello, this was contributed on the 29th of August, 2019.
And as I said, and that's critical, it's that, yes, in addition to the fact that our coins, our ones really gives us that, there's no limiting factor in terms of where we have 195 countries effectively that we can use it. So we're not limited within our own physical space, you know?
Yeah, very, very important and very critical. I think our ecosystem and our coin was designed for a particular circumstance like this. It's just for us to really understand and really utilize it.
I would like to ask one quick question and then read a comment by Kodro high up in the chat. Alvin, provided this situation that you postulate and would so much like to see occurs, would you have to take a loan to be able to effect your repairs?
No. I have sufficient ones to be able to rebuild the entire structure, and quite possibly even better and at less cost. So therefore I'm able to buy more house, for lack of a better expression, with the coin for less fiat currency. I will be able to rent a space for the period of the construction. So life continues as usual on the premise that an exchange is in place that is consistent with the goals of One Life. I would actually also be able to tell the bank, thanks for what you have given me for other things. Here is your fiat. I can then use the coin safe option within One Life to rebuild what I have paid out. We have to understand the power of what we have.
Exactly. I would like to
continue to do other things.
Permit me to read what Mr. Kodro has here. Mr. Kodro says, with real money like gold, silver, one, there is no need for loans. Because in our ecosystem, we have no loans because our ones continually increase in value. There's no need for a loan. Go ahead.
There you go. And that's why I said I will not need a loan. Absolutely will not need it.
So then we'll be eliminating usury.
We will be eliminating usury. For which, and look, before you go, Cass and I were having a very interesting discussion days ago. Sorry, you reminded me about it. What and why were money changers, for those of us of a religious persuasion, particularly the Judeo-Christian tradition, why were money changers not just asked to leave, but forcibly thrown out of the temple?
Because of usury.
It goes further.
Was who were these money changers? Are they not akin to a certain entity that comes to do what? Kill, rob, steal, and destroy? Isn't inflation, as articulated by John Maynard Keynes, something that is almost, if not directly, akin to theft and the business of stealing? Over to you, Ken.
Wow.
Go ahead.
That is a loaded topic. We have to actually discuss usury separately. That will take a while because it is deep rooted into so many other things. It is really not. It is unnatural. Usury is unnatural. That's what I could say. And it is the highest form of theft. The highest form of theft is usury. All right. So with that, I mean, we are at a certain time, so we still have our merchant of the day, which basically benefits from our economy. So I'll just turn it back over to you, Cass. Thank you so much for the discussion, guys.
Well, quickly, I want everyone to take a look at this slide. that speaks of usury. Aristotle said the most hated sort of money maker, and with the greatest reason, is usury, which makes a gain out of money itself, and not the natural object of it. For money was intended to be used in exchange, but not to increase at interest. And this term interest, which means the birth of money from money, is applied to the breeding of money because the offspring resembles the parent. Wherefore, of modes of getting wealth, this is the most unnatural. So, with that, I'd like to turn over
Wow.
my able-bodied host.
Wow, 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 wow. What a lively, interactive, comprehensive, surgical, critical analysis of the terms, these terms that, you know, the financial system and those that are in control use to deceive and hoodwink and undermine the populace. You know, we need to carry this to a further level, Ivan. We need to carry this, and I thank you all very much, Kester Beale, Professor Alvin Morton, Ivan Luther Mack, and Jason Bramble for these very insightful convictions and contributions towards this understanding the OneAcademy. You know, truly we need to carry this to another level. You know, we need to encourage even international participants on our calls and to get the share of these calls going further and further and growing, you know, bigger and bigger. Wonderful contributions, greatly appreciated, guys, and continue the good work. So, folks, we're coming close to the end of this call, a healthy discussion as we continue to dig deeper into our OneAcademy. So we invite you to share and to care and let others know what we are doing on OneAcademy, because OneAcademy is the heart of our company. It is how we gain the understanding to position ourselves to become independent. Imagine being independent of loans, being independent of, you know, of all these fees that they drown us with. They're literally raping us. And this thing has devastated the entire globe. It is the key, the core to the poverty, the discrimination, the lack of wealth that people, simple people, common people cannot afford to live and to exist. The mass unemployment and so on that is being perpetuated, it is all by design, people. So we thank you again for this OneAcademy call. So now it is at that point in time where we introduce the merchant of the day, and we are featuring the usability of the coin, and that's why we have this segment. And our merchant of the day is Simply Gems, and I would like them to get on the call or to, you know, take control of the mic and say a little about themselves. You know, this is a business that deals with jewelry. It deals also with natural healthcare product, and I know they have put a lot into this business to serve us as a people. So those of you who are far and near, we ask you to support these sisters. It's a mother and daughter team. So I welcome Mary Beale and her daughter on the call. Take it away. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Good evening, good night, good morning to the whole world at large. This is Simply Gems team on the floor here.
Okay, go right ahead. We're hearing you.
We have the Simply Gems team. We are mother and daughter team that gotten into One Life, and in getting into One Life, we were introduced to learning from the OneAcademy. In learning from the OneAcademy, we came to the understanding that we needed to have a little business. And in starting off of the business itself, we decided that we would get in onto the deal shaker. In getting into the deal shaker, which got us very excited. We started first with jewelry. So today we working with, we allowing you all to be able to see some of the jewelry design that we do. And later on, we would introduce a little the other part of our business. These are some of the jewelry pieces that we have. We enter a lot of crystal stuff, and crystal are being used for a lot of healing in different ailments and stuff. And I got very interested in that and realizing that I could have get some of the beads and stuff in order to be able to, I wouldn't say capitalize, but able to introduce people to know the nature of the healings for some of the crystals and stuff. In that, I like a lot to do with seed beads and stuff, do designs and stuff with the little seed beads and stuff. And that is what keeps us occupied for a lot of the times.
So to what extent has the community participated, and how has the sales been going? How have you benefited, being on the deal shaker, you and Jamelia, your daughter? Could you explain a little bit? You look very wonderful on the set this afternoon. Um, Congratulations to you and for being on the deal shaker and for serving the community. So let's give us a little explanation as to how the sales went, what kind of coinage, fiat combination you did, and what kind of response you got on the deal shaker platform.
Thank you very much for giving that compliment, Noel. What I can tell you is that when we first got into the OneAcademy and started learning all these big words that they say like quantitative easing and all them kind of stuff. I'm not so hot on the numbers and stuff, but they allow me to be able to understand a lot of stuff from the financial world. And based on that is when we start hearing the saying, it will be good for you to open a little business. We say, okay, we'd start. And because we have a lot of trust into the coin, we went full 100 at the beginning, and we did that for many months. We are now in the business for a year and a half, almost 2 years, and nothing will stop me from, or my daughter from, allowing us to acquire the coin, because instead of right now we have Trinidad dollars that are going down. And well, not even Trinidad dollars alone, all the dollars around the world dropping. And we seeing coins going up. Since we've been in the company, it has raised at least 3 times. And what you will want better than that? We definitely will want to be going up in value instead of going down in the value. It will place you at a better place. You're able to do more business. You're able, not only more business, you're able to do stuff for yourself. You're able, like for us, we want to buy a house. Eventually, we want to buy a car. And believe you me, I plan to only do that with once.
Beautiful, beautiful. So do you have products you can show us there right now? We just have about a minute and a half before we wrap up the call. Do you have any of the products you can feature to us? Or is Jamila there as well?
Yes, Yes, we'll show you all some of the
Okay.
products now.
Right. If you can just see within the last few minutes, because it's almost 1 o'clock now, so you can just show us a couple of the products.
Brother Noel, if you look down on the screen, you would see that there's some mannequins with the various gems on them. So you'll see them.
Yeah, she has been doing things
Okay, thank you. I wasn't seeing that. Sorry about that.
It has been there all the time.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Okay, so very, very good. Mary, very good. And Jamelia, excellent work. You know, excellent work. So we're not hearing you there.
Could you spotlight it so that they will able to
Yes.
see a bigger picture? Thank you.
Okay. But I saw it, right? So we are out of time right now, folks. It has been great having the experts on this call talking about deflation and inflation. We'd like to thank Mr. Ivan Luther Mack. We'd like to thank also Jason Bramble, Kester Beal, Muriel Lazama, and who's the other person we have?
Alvin Morton.
Alvin Morton.
Alvin
Professor Alvin
Morton.
Morton. Yes. For all those wonderful contributions to this whole question of the OneAcademy. We also like to thank Mary Beal and her daughter Jamelia for making the contributions and the experience on the deal shaker. So folks, that's it for today's call. Just a little gentle reminder. Tonight again we have our One Life Network business presentation, the opportunity to get into this project. And every day we have the lunch and learn at 12. So everyone, thank you a lot and be safe, protect yourself, and have a great day. That's it. One's out.